Hey everyone, welcome to Jotform. My name is Kimberly and I'm about to make a request form that I can send to my team to request time on my calendar for us to have a one-on-one conversation. So if you're looking for something like that, let's jump over to the dashboard and let's create this form together. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to click on create a form and we can either start from scratch, use a template, or we can import a form using an existing form. And if you're needing a little inspiration, you can click on that use template button and you can see different request forms that are already out there. But for me, I like to start from scratch. So we're going to start from scratch and you can choose between either the classic form or the card form. I'm going to use a classic form for this one. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of that header. I'm going to start from scratch. And I'm going to go over here, add a form element. I'm going to choose full name because I want to know who I'm going to be working with. I want to capture their phone number. And then I'm going to come down to drop down because I want to know which level they are so I know best how to prepare for that conversation. So I'm going to get level 1, 2, and 3 entered in. Looks good. Now, this is where the fun part comes in. I am going to go back up and choose appointment. And there are a ton of different things that you can use with this feature. So if you click on the gear for properties, you can see we have lots of different options to choose from. So for general, I want this to be called choose your one-on-one time. And we are going to want this required, so we can go ahead and make that required. Now, under availability, this is where you can choose how long you want that appointment to be. So for me, 30 minutes should be good. And then under intervals, what time of day do I want them to be able to book this time with me? And then if that's only on weekdays, I can also choose to add a new interval and make it on Saturday and Sunday only. And let's change the time. Let's do this from 12 to 4. You can also toggle on and off the lunchtime feature so that people won't book time during that lunch hour for you. Now, under limits, this is where we can choose when do we want this to start. So let's say I only want to book calls during that last week of the month. So I'm going to choose just that Monday through Friday. And under maximum appointments a day, I don't want to do more than 4 calls. So I'm going to say 4, and then the minimum scheduling notice, I don't want to be caught off guard. So I want at least 24 hours notice that they are going to be booking time with me. And then under advanced, you can also make this to where only one person can choose a time or multiple people can choose a time, making it more of like a group coaching type atmosphere. And then I'm going to change the time zone because right now it's on New York time zone and I need it to be in my time zone, Phoenix. And you can tell that these times are now going to change. You probably noticed that earlier whenever I was choosing a specific time, it wasn't updating to the right one. So make sure you have your default time zone in there. And that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and start editing, making it look the way we want it to look. So I'm going to change that button style. And then I'm going to click the form designer. And we are going to choose a page color. Let's choose this right here. Looks good. All right. Now, one extra step that I want to share with you that is one of my favorites is an integration that I have with this. So having them fill this out is one thing, but I want this to show up on my calendar. So that way I don't have to really worry about what they do in Jotform or checking my submissions in Jotform. I can just open up my Google Calendar and I can see that I have someone who has booked some time with me. So under settings, I'm going to choose integration and I am going to search for Google and I'm going to choose Google Calendar. Then I'm going to choose authenticate, I'm going to choose the account. I'm going to allow all the permissions so that way Jotform can post on my calendar. So for title here, it's wanting to know what do you want the event to be called in your Google Calendar. So the really cool thing with this is you can click on the little pencil and it gives you all the options that you had in your Jotform. So for this, I have learned you kind of have to go backwards. So I definitely want the time, right? I want the time that they chose. And then I also want their name. And I want the name to be the first thing. So I choose it last. And one thing is you need to make sure there's a space between these two, or else it's all going to be jumbled together. So I'm actually going to put a comma in a space, so it'll say like Kimberly appointment. Okay, so we have the start time is going to be the time that they chose. And then something else that I want in the description is I want to know their level. So we can have that there. So I'm going to save and complete integration. And then I'm going to go up to publish. I am going to grab that form link and let's give it a test. Then we're going to do a phone number. Then for level, I'm going to choose level 2. And let's say I want to choose on February 24th at 11:30 a.m. It's letting me know this is what you selected. And then I'm going to hit submit. We're going to get that thank you page. Now let's go to my Google Calendar. All right, so this is this week. Let's go to next week. And there we are. So let's go back to that form. Under the settings for the thank you page, we could have them redirected to a different link, a different URL. And that could be something maybe that you want them to download so they can have handy as you are having your conversation. So that is one thing you can do. But we need to go back. We need to make sure that all of these are required. And we already required that one. All right, before we finalize everything, let's rename it. And there we go. So if you guys have any questions about creating your own request form or that integration with Google Calendar, make sure you drop your comment down below and I will see y'all later. Bye.